tongue, the teeth, Susan, we talked about the bronzer.
1 minute.
Have you ever wondered what makes news news?
Who is she talking to?
I mean, things are happening all around us all the time. So why do we hear about some things and not others?
Final checks. 5, 4, 3, 2.
Coming up tonight, Melbourne cyclist has a pleasant ride to work. Sydney woman forgets to put her bins out, but she says they weren't full anyway. And Walkerville primary basketball team wins a game against another team. But first, to our main story. An Australian politician seems to be doing a pretty good job.
1, cue.
Roll tape. What's in the news will always depend on who's reporting it and who's consuming it. For example, is it science news, national news, or kids news? But you'll find news stories often have some things in common. They're known as news values, and they include things like timeliness. That's the whole new bit in news. It means we're much more likely to care about something if it just happened.
Thanks for that, Tiffany. In other news, a house in Olive Grove has been destroyed by fire. Patricia Norman is live at the scene.
Thanks, Bert. I'm standing outside the residence that was completely destroyed by a fire which began at 5 a.m. 5 years ago. As you can see, the owners have completely rebuilt. And it's looking pretty good, really. I hear there's a pool out the back. But at the time, let me tell you, it was a real mess. And back to you in the studio.
While it's pretty obvious why we'd want news stories to be new, if you think about it, that whole timeliness thing can mean we miss out on important stories just because they aren't new anymore, or because they happen slowly.
So I've got this story for you. The temperatures are apparently going up all over the place. They're calling it global warming.
Global warming? That's never going to be a news story.
Another common news value is oddity, or unusualness. There's an old saying about this one, involving men and dogs. It goes, if a dog bites a man, it's not news. But if a man bites a dog, well, that is news. That's because, generally speaking, a dog biting a person isn't that unusual, so it's not that newsworthy. Unless, of course, that person's being mauled to death or they're famous. Nah. Whereas a man biting a dog, well, people don't usually do that. It's weird and it's probably illegal. Man, what are you doing? The news is full of unusual things, and that can affect the way we see the world. After a while, it can feel like unusual things are happening all the time, when actually they are, by definition, unusual. Good girl, come here. Things are more likely to make the news if they're high impact.
Yes.
That means they affect a lot of people.
Oh, you're kidding me.
For example, the power going out at Simo's house, not much impact there. But the power going out across an entire state, well, that's definitely news.
G'day.
Proximity means we're more likely to care about something if it happens in our own backyard.
You all right, mate?
All good, mate. Come on over.
It means we're more likely to hear about something close to home, like, say, a factory fire in Melbourne rather than one in Manila.
Yeah, I heard about that one. That was terrible.
It's also why something like a car crash in Australia might get more coverage than a train crash in India, even though the train crash affects more people.
So what are you doing this weekend?
Well, my friend bought me a tandem bike for Christmas.
I'm Johnny from next door.
How's it going?
Nice to meet you.
Proximity can also mean cultural proximity. That is, how close we feel to the people involved or affected.
Alright, so I know in the UK you call these grills, mate. We call them barbies, and these aren't sausages, they're snags, all right?
You might have noticed that here in Australia, we tend to hear a lot about what's happening in the US
Hey, how are ya?
and the UK.
Oh, hello there.
That's partly because a lot of Australians feel like the US and UK are culturally similar to us.
We love to barbecue corn in America.
We share a language and we watch a lot of British and American movies and TV shows.
I knew we would find common ground. I knew this.
So people are more likely to want to know about what's happening in these countries. But focusing on news from places we're culturally or geographically close to isn't necessarily a good thing. After all, Australia's a pretty multicultural place, and a lot of Aussies don't actually share a cultural history with the US or UK. Knowing what's happening in other countries can be a really good thing. It can give us a sense of perspective and make us more informed about the world around us. Plus, when we know more about other places and other people, we're much more likely to care about them.
Sausage.
Oh my god! Is that Amelia Mosley from BTN?
Oh my god, is that Amelia?
Amelia? Can we get a photo of you, please?
Just a quick one.
As you might have noticed, the news media loves famous people. Famous movie stars, famous politicians, business people, or even famous reporters.
Amelia, can I please get your autograph?
Sure. This sort of thing is actually pretty ingrained in human nature.
Okay, selfie.
Long before we had Kardashians, people would follow the lives of monarchs, religious figures, or other well-known members of society. That could be because we want to be like people in power, or just because we want to feel connected.
Oh my god, you're even prettier in real life.
But that does mean the news can end up reporting on things that, well, shouldn't really be news. Oh, I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm fine.
It's going to be the fight of the century. Two of boxing's greatest rivals. Who will win?
Another thing the news media loves is a good fight.
Introducing, on my left, Billy the Bone Crusher. Wait, give me all my money.
Bone crusher.
Yes! Introducing, on my right, Simon the Rookie.
Hi, Mum.
News stories often feature some kind of conflict, whether it's between unions and bosses, rival politicians, environmentalists and developers, or, you know, sports people.
You see that? He just flinched. I'm gonna wipe the floor with his tiny shorts.
I'm the greatest athlete in the world. Waste of my time. I'm the best.
It's easy to see why. I mean, it's kind of fun to barrack for a side. But sometimes these conflicts can be exaggerated.
So, look, I'm probably not gonna win this fight. I mean, I'm not even that good at this. Like, look at me. Look at him.
What is he talking about?
We went to
the mall on Saturday. Did you end up getting that gorgeous lace white jacket?
The shoulder pads.
Yeah, the one with
the strong look, yes.
Oh, I loved it.
Hey, ladies, how was your weekend?
Oh, hi. Yeah, mine was really good, actually. Yeah, I went on a date.
Oh, tell me about it.
Well, we went...
Let's face it, if the news were a person, he'd be kind of depressing to be around.
3 people were murdered yesterday.
Oh my God, that's awful.
A study's found you won't live as long as your parents.
That's a bit of a downer.
Did I tell you about Tobias?
East Africa is in the grip of famine. The world is inching ever closer to nuclear war.
It's not just that journalists are a morbid bunch. Studies show that we're actually more likely to pay attention to bad news than to good news, and that could have something to do with the way we respond to threats.
Be careful. That's dangerous.
It might be that we remember bad news because it's a warning about possible dangers in the world. Although social media could be changing things.
And so while he was sick in hospital, all of his favourite movie stars came and visited him.
In the same way we tend to prefer happy friends, we tend to share more good news stories on social media.
Then they find the cat after 10 years.
And I reckon I saw that too.
In fact, studies have shown positive news stories spread further and more quickly than negative ones.
Maybe Ollie was living with them.
While that could be a positive thing, don't forget bad news is often really important news, while good news sometimes isn't.
I'm just so happy to have Fluffy back after 10 long years. Although he has changed colour a bit.
Back to Bert in 3, 2, 1, cue.
A riveting and emotional piece there. And just to follow up...
Remember, there are no real rules about what's news and what isn't, but it's good to think about why you're being told about something and how it might be shaping your view of the world.
Well, that's the news for tonight. I'm Bert Rockwell. See you next time. Susan, this bronzer is awful. You'll never work in this town again. What? What do you mean my mic's still on? Oh,